In the previous episode of the Kaiserslautern Career Mode, we significantly improved our defense by signing Edson Alvarez from Real Betis. After years of heartbreak and conceding last-minute equalizers, we finally won the Deutscher Pokal. In our first season competing in continental competitions, we managed to win the Europa League. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 20 FC Kaiserslautern Career Mode. This is episode number 13, and following our best season to date, we'll try to carry on and find some success in the Champions League. But before we get into that, I have some very important announcements about the series, so let's begin a press conference. Despite the large amount of overall growth that he's had throughout this series, I feel like Tyler Adams has more or less gone under the radar, which I don't think is a bad thing for a holding center defensive midfielder. There's a reason you guys don't see him involved in a lot of the attacking chances. He is the two of our center defensive mids that stay back more. Ballack I would consider to be the more attacking oriented, but I do consider Adams to be a crucial part of our starting 11, and the fact that we picked him up on a free transfer was absolutely incredible. But regarding the channel update, it does bring me a little bit of sadness to say this will be our last season with Kaiserslautern. We'll have this episode as well as the next episode. All good things must come to an end, and with the end of this series begins the start of FIFA 21 and more career modes on the channel. I say it just about every episode, but this series is where it's at because of your support. I really do appreciate all the comments and feedback you've left throughout this series, and I credit a lot of the series' success to you guys. Let's try to finish this series strong by leaving a like on the video and also dropping a press conference question in the comments section below. If there are enough comments for me to answer, I'll definitely have a longer version of our usual press conference to end off the series. But if you are new around here and happen to discover the channel, or you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to do so. It is free, and it is the best way to get notified about any videos I bring out. I plan on posting a lot of content throughout the rest of this FIFA cycle and also moving into FIFA 21. But let's push on with the Kaiserslautern Career Mode. The first order of business for Season 7, it is ridiculous to be saying that, is the board objectives. And unfortunately, FIFA 20 has kind of dropped the ball on this sort of stuff. I do not agree with a lot of the rankings. I don't think youth development should be a critical objective for us. We're looking to be giants in Europe. We're not looking to be a growing club, which I think youth development caters a bit more towards. But regardless, we'll move on. The board does want us to sign 2 players to our youth academy this season and then feature them in 10 matches as part of the starting 11 or as a substitute. I'm gonna be straight up, that is not going to happen, but maybe we can sign 2 players as a defender to our youth academy. For brand exposure, we need to gain 226 million in earnings from shirt sales, and then moving on to our finances within 3 seasons, we will be looking to increase the club worth by 30%. Domestically, they want us to win the League Cup as well as finish top 4 in a UEFA Champions League place. And then for the continental success, speaking of the Champions League, the board wants us to reach the final. Purely speaking, for our domestic and continental success, I feel like our starting 11 right now could definitely challenge for that. But considering this is our final season, I'm definitely going to look to make some improvements in this summer transfer window to give us the greatest possibility of achieving everything we want to do at Kaiserslautern this season, which is win the league title, hopefully win the Champions League, and if we can make a run in the Pokal as well, so be it. But first, we do have our final upgrades for our icons. Michael Ballack will be upgraded from his current stats to his prime moments icon. Ultimately, this won't be impacting his stats too much due to the way that player development worked out, but for logistics purposes, this will be Ballack's highest overall card. And it's the same deal for Klose. He will be going from his current status to his prime moments card at 93 overall, so we actually will be getting an upgrade. But looking through the rest of our starting 11, I think it is important to target the areas that have the lowest overall, that being our defense. Currently, Bela Kochup is the lowest overall rated player in our starting 11, but he does have more potential than some of our other center backs, so I think I will be looking to replace Ramirez in this transfer window. It's pretty impressive that he's been able to reach an 83 overall rating, considering that we signed him in the 2nd or 3rd season from Erdogan, while I believe we were in the Zweite Bundesliga. So the fact that dynamic potential has taken over and he's become a pretty dominant center back is amazing. With all the allocated funds that the board has given us, we have roughly 100 million to work with, and I think we can make some great signings with those funds. Of course, the first order of business is to sign a high-rated center back, and I thought, why not turn to a team that we beat in the Europa League last season, Spurs, and try to bring Zagadou back to the Bundesliga. He's 86 rated at this point in career mode, and the fact that he's left-footed is a good selling point as well. That'll allow Bella Kochup to play on his preferred right side, and then Alvarez can play as our central center back. In terms of funds, this was a pretty expensive transfer at 64.4 million. However, that's not much more than his market value, and defenders are few and far between when it comes to these high overall ratings, so I was happy with this deal. His contract wasn't too bad either, signing as a crucial first team player, 4 years and 100 grand a week. I also had to look through any good release clause deals, and we managed to find an amazing one with Angel Gomez. His market value is roughly 40 million, but we managed to pick him up for his release clause of 5.2 million. Is that unrealistic? Yes, but with this being the last season of the career mode, we can make a few more unrealistic transfers. His contract was a bit more expensive as he signed as a rotational player to a 5-year deal, and also 100 grand a week, exactly the same as Zagadou. Those two signings will put our squad in really good shape, but I figured why not transfer list some players and look into any bids that we might receive from other clubs. The main one being for the man we just talked about, Nicolas Ramirez, a huge offer coming in from Wolfsburg, which ended up being exactly the same for what we paid for Zagadou. For me, this was a no-brainer. I planned on using Ramirez as a rotational player, but that's not a key squad role, and we have other good center backs in the squad like Kim Min-jae, so I of course accepted that offer. A few other players left the club, including Ox and Mikkel, along with Mijojevic and Sickinger. With the additional funds that we've received, I decided to sign one more player, another talent that features in the Bundesliga IRL but has moved on to the Premier League in this career mode, that being Alfonzo Davies. To be fair, because we are using an older squad file, his potential is a bit lower, but still 85 overall at 24 years old is still exceptional, so I had to bring him in. This will mark our most expensive transfer of the career mode, as we brought him in for 70 million. For the contract, he signed as a crucial first team player to a 4-year deal worth 54 grand a week. So ultimately, I think things did balance out. The players that cost us a bit more, like Davies, we signed to a lower contract deal, and then players that we signed for less, like Gomez, ended up having way more for the wages. We do have some pretty big icon transfers for season 7, as one of my favorite players growing up, Ronaldinho, has made the move to Barcelona for 35.48 million. Drogba is starting to put up some big goal scoring numbers in France, as he's made the move to Marseille for 6.6 million. You guys will see Chelsea is beginning to build a super squad, kind of what they're doing IRL, and they have brought in Crespo for 28.6 million. Another Chelsea transfer with Varane, as he's joined for 23.65 million. It's Chelsea again for Makalele, as he's joined for 22 million. This is really good news for us, as it will weaken Dortmund's current starting 11, Lehmann transferring to Arsenal for 3.85 million. And our final icon transfer will take place in Serie A, as Zola has left Chelsea for Cagliari on a free transfer. With the 3 new player arrivals to the club, 2 in our starting 11, 1 in our substitutes, this is the Kaiserslautern squad to take on season 7. Can we win the Bundesliga? Can we win the Champions League? Keep on watching the series to find out. Due to all the success we had last season, we find ourselves featuring in a number of different competitions. This one will be in the Super Cup, which pits us against the Bundesliga winners from last year, Dortmund. As you can see, they no longer have Jens Lehmann as their starting goalkeeper, but as we've seen from previous seasons, we know that Dortmund are a strong side, especially on the attacking front, as they score the first goal of the match in the 16th minute. And this will be a good test if we can really compete in the Bundesliga this season. While I'd love to add as many trophies to our cabinet as possible, the Super Cup doesn't necessarily hold as much importance to me as a league title would. Unfortunately, we're unable to equalize there with Whaler. He does hit the post, and then in the 45th minute, we will unfortunately go down 2-0. There is still some hope for us, as we've come back from a 2-0 deficit against Dortmund before, but if we want to get back into this match, we need to start scoring goals soon. And that is exactly what we look to do here in the 62nd minute. Our new signing, Alfonzo Davies, playing a nice pass inside to Whaler, who wasn't exactly on form, but an impressive bit of tenacity and perseverance from Davies, as he was able to find Schmitz on a pretty nice goal, to be fair. He took it on the volley, and it seemed like we were just attracted to the post this match, as this chance ends up going off the post and in. There is something, though, about these early season matches that lead to defensive errors, as Zagadou, that's not the first impression that I want to see from him. That mistake nearly leads to another goal had it not been for a good Grill save. But this chance in the 89th minute will essentially be our final opportunity to get back to the match, maybe force penalty kicks or extra time, whichever one of those two do come. But it was a good bit of defensive display from Dortmund. It actually leads to a counterattacking chance, as this effort will go wide in extra time. But Dortmund will lift the Super Cup this season. Not exactly the way I wanted to start our league campaign, but it'll be a great opportunity for us to gauge what sort of level Dortmund are at so that we can beat them later on the Bundesliga season. We have another Super Cup to participate in, except this will be the UEFA Super Cup against Champions League winners Manchester United, who, might I say, have an incredible squad. They, of course, do have some icons over the course of their history and in this career mode, but they've made some good signings as well, bringing in one of the highest potential players in FIFA 20 career mode in Frenkie de Jong. We'll witness some play between Manchester United's icons as Van Nistelrooy plays this out wide to Giggs, back inside to Van Nistelrooy. Of course, he has great strength and the ability to hold off the ball from some of our players, as that nearly results in a goal. But here close up, playing a great ball inside to Schmitz, who decides to take that first time. Lafont with a save equal to it, though. I would say we had more momentum in this match because we didn't concede an early goal. We were pretty much in it from the start, as Schmitz does, again, a good job to get back on side. Unfortunately, his finishing ability, once again, is an issue, but as long as he's getting in those goal-scoring chances, I won't discredit him too much. But here's De La Vega. He's been a great signing from us since the start, and someone that can finish chances is Miroslav Klose. That's what he's known for. Finds a way to get the ball into the back of the net. Doesn't matter how pretty the goal is. That's a nice bit of control and a bit of a toe poke in. There's a pretty big jump in highlights as we go all the way to the 67th minute. Eriksson utilizing his 5-star weak foot to equalize for Manchester United, and he was always going to make the game interesting. Eriksson has to be one of the older players in the United squad, but clearly he still has some quality. Unfortunately, we were unable to get a go-ahead goal as we reach the end of regulation time, but we'll be playing an additional 30 minutes as this match goes all the way to the 100th minute. We'll have Boehm linking up with Whaler, a nice heel flick as he sets up a chance here, getting it on his left foot, and he will be bearing that opportunity, making it 2-1 for us. And it's nice to see Whaler get on the score sheet and showcase a pretty interesting celebration. There's not too many stadiums that have this track available, so when the opportunity comes up, why not use it? We did sign a lot of players this summer, but I don't think you can argue that our best value transfer was Angel Gomez. He only cost us like $5 million for a $40 million valued player, and as a super sub, I don't think there's too many players in the world that can do what he does, as he has some incredible dribbling ability, a good amount of pace, which is really all you can ask for someone coming off the bench. Ultimately, it was a Muzu to bury the chance, and that will allow us to lift the UEFA Super Cup, giving us a lot of confidence going into the Bundesliga season, as well as our Champions League campaign. Obviously, Champions League will be a big priority for us this season, and luckily we have a very feasible group that we should be able to advance out of and finish in the top 2. PSG being a difficult opponent, but Celtic and Dynamo Kiev are both opponents we should be able to beat. As we have already played against a Bundesliga opponent in Dortmund for the Super Cup, I figured we may as well play this Champions League group stage match against PSG and feature our first performance in the Champions League. And what a way to start things off. But at least it will be at home against a fairly good PSG side, but that one that doesn't include a whole lot of icons. But we will pick up things right where we left off, as De La Vega will receive the ball on the right-hand side in just the 2nd minute. Does a nice job cutting inside and is a bit lucky to end up getting a shot off, but it's well saved on the keeper's near post. Of course, PSG's attack is probably their strongest asset, but this will be a remarkable save by Grill, really showing off the reactions that he does have. And we'll start by playing this one out of the back. Alvarez to De La Vega, now over to Adams, who it's good to see him getting involved. He's mostly going to be a defensive player for us, but every now and then he can contribute with the attacking play. Schmitz with a chance. Unfortunately, that one is saved by the goalkeeper, and we'll push on with one more opportunity before the halftime break, as Ballack with a long shot, still unable to net a goal from outside the 18, but he's getting closer and closer. Not too much went down in the second half, but once again, it's going to be Angel Gomez getting involved in the play as our super sub, and what a pickup he has been, as he'll make things 2-0 for us in the 82nd minute, and this was a quality finish from him. That second goal seemed to light a spark in our attack, as PSG were trying to push players forward and try to get something going. But Gomez, again, in the right place at the right time. Definitely wasn't intentional to pass the ball over to him, but he's going to bury that chance and that is a dominant 3-0 win for us against a strong PSG side. Celtic are a side with a lot of European history, and they have managed to build a strong side in this career mode, with Larson being the main man up top for them. But ultimately, the quality of our starting 11 was too much for this Celtic defense to handle, as that pass from Davies was brought down so well by Schmitz. Eventually, he will square this over to Ballack, who was lurking for a chance to contribute a goal from the center defensive mid position. Always nice to see him getting involved and eventually pushing up from the midfield. But it's going to be that trio linking up again. Ballack to Schmitz, Schmitz to Davies, and now back to Schmitz as he will finish the chance on the near post. He's been a bit suspect with his finishing in today's episode, but it seems like when he does score goals, it's always on the near post. But Celtic will show a slight sign of life as they get into our final third, send in a cross, and this is a superb volley by Araujo. It more or less came out of nowhere, but you can't discredit a good goal when it is scored against you, and we needed to make sure we don't concede a second and drop any points in this match. You can see from this highlight how many players Celtic were pushing forward, looking for that equalizer goal, but it's going to be De La Vega cutting inside, playing a great through ball to Klose. Now back in to De La Vega, a key block by the Celtic defender, but ultimately we will be able to hang on in this one, walk away with the full 3 points, and have a really good start to our Champions League campaign. I think the fact that our squad has gotten stronger and the other clubs in the Bundesliga have weakened is just too much for them to handle. We currently sit top of the Bundesliga, 17 wins from 17 matches with 51 points. Unless things take a complete 180, it does look like we will be able to clinch the Bundesliga this season fairly early on. So the big emphasis for next episode will be Champions League. I will of course still show the Bundesliga trophy celebration if we manage to win the league title, so if you are interested in that, don't worry, you'll still be able to see that next episode. But in terms of our Champions League group placing, we were top of our group. I'm not sure how this worked out because we were equal on points with PSG. They had a better goal difference, but maybe because we beat them more on aggregate, we finished above them. Regardless, I'll take that first place finish. And then for the round of 16, we've actually been matched up against Manchester United again. We've essentially developed a world-class trio of players with our 2 icons, Klose and Ballack, and then our scouted future star player, Schmitz, as they are all leading the way with the goals scored category, 20 for Klose, 19 for Ballack, and then 16 for Schmitz. For the assist category, Schmitz is leading the way, Ballack's in second, and then our new signing, Alfonzo Davies, will take the 3rd place spot. I'm extremely excited for the finale of this career mode. We have done so much with this Kaiserslautern squad, and it truly has been a road to glory. I hope you all have enjoyed it. And again, be sure to show support on this episode and try to tune into the next episode if you are at all interested in how this Kaiserslautern save turns out. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.